guys, what's up? My name is Hollow, and today we are not playing The Sims. We are playing Banished, which is actually a pretty old game. But yeah, I want to sort of just play this with you guys because it's kind of like my micro obsession at the moment. So I want to actually start by showing you the save file that I started this weekend, and it is by far the best save I've ever had in this game. Usually I play this game for like an hour or two at a time. I start a village or two or three, and they all fail. But this one is my most successful village. It has been going 50 years. There's over 100 people. Actually successful. It's actually working. So I'm really happy with it. But basically, if you don't know what Banished is a game where you get a certain number of settlers and you have to build a community for them. So you have to set up their houses and like all their business sort of things. Like you have to set up a blacksmith and a tailor and a log cutter, and you have to have like farming fields, animals, all that stuff sort of set up. You have to get wood and stuff like that. So I have like foresters here, I have a mine, I have quarries. So yeah, all that stuff is just sort of the idea. You have to build it and make it sustainable so that they can live. Sort of the same thing as Sims, where you're building a world and you're deciding what happens to people, but you're not as like personal. You don't like go in and be like, oh, who's this person, I'm going to control their life. You can't really do that. Like you can go in and check to see who's doing what. Like if I click these little arrows, it'll show me a person and I can be like, oh, this is Adric, he's 75, he's happy, he's a farmer, he's educated, his clothing's not in the best condition, but it's all right. But that's as much as I can do with him, and I can like follow him around and see what he does, but like I can't tell him what to do. I can't choose what job he does, nothing like that. So it's the same sort of like god complex game that The Sims is, where you're just in charge of everything, but it's not as like interpersonal, you know? I don't know if that's the right word for this, but that's the word I'm gonna use. But anyways, this is the goal basically. So this is the save we're working towards, but we're going to start a new save. I'm not going to drop you in on this. I don't usually bother naming them because they usually don't do very well. I feel like that last one was just sort of a fluke. So we're just going to go with this name that it gives us, which is Turia. So this is my usual setup. I usually play in valleys. I do a small terrain, a mild climate, disasters on, and then I'm starting on medium. I wanted to make it hard and start on hard, but hard was too hard for me because like I could never get them enough food. They just kept dying straight off the bat and it was horrible. But yeah, and like I've never changed the weather. I just wanted easy weather straight off the bat, so I've never played with the harder weather. I have no idea how that works. As far as world size, I've played medium, but I've never tried large. I think we're gonna do medium because that one that way I just showed you was sort of running out of space. So in order to get a successful one and like actually be able to keep playing it like beyond the point that I was at with that one, I want to actually make it a little bit bigger. So we're gonna do this one. And now the reason that we're playing Banished today instead of Sims is because I just don't feel like playing Sims. I've always said in my videos that I didn't get the thing that other people get where they don't want to play The Sims for a while, but I got it today. Well, actually for the past couple weeks I've been feeling it, but I just don't want to play The Sims right now. It's just not what I want. I want to play Banished. I want to play Crusader Kings. I want to watch videos. I just don't feel like playing The Sims right now. So yeah, but I wanted to keep putting stuff out for you guys. I didn't want to make stuff that I just wasn't interested in. So instead I'm going to show you these games and see if you're interested and hope that you don't unsubscribe. But anyways, these are my people. Here is all the professions list, so I can choose who does what. Well, not who does what, but how many people do what, basically. So straight off the bat, I'm going to put like half of them into builders. And then I always up my resources. Like they start with these numbers. I always up them just because like I feel like they're too low. This is my general statistics. This just sort of tells me how everything's going, what we have, all that sort of stuff. Let's take a look at our little world here. So this is where we start. It's a decent little area, and like I need to plan out like where I'm gonna put stuff, like sort of have an idea of where I'm gonna put stuff just to start. Oh, it's so much bigger. Wow, a medium is so much bigger than a large. It's so huge, but like there's a lot of space here, which is awesome. But got some good networks and stuff. It's a lot of like little hills going between stuff, which isn't my favorite, but it's okay. We can work with it. Basically, what I'm doing right now is trying to plan out where I'm going to put stuff like my forester and my hunting lodges, my gatherer's hut, and my herbalist. I need to know where to put all those guys. The herbalist and the gatherer need an area where you're not taking their resources, maybe over here. But at the same time, I want to keep it somewhat close because I want those things early on, but I don't want I can't have my people walk way down here early on. It it just doesn't work. That's one of the many lessons I've learned, is that you die very quickly when you make your people walk far at the beginning. I think maybe up here, but it's not, I don't think it's quite big enough, plus it's still kind of far. If I put it like right here, there's just not a lot of resources there. So I mean, like more trees would eventually grow though, so that might be okay. I don't know. It's a lot of planning, a lot of stuff like this where I'm just mulling it over for a while. I'm gonna go ahead and do stuff that I know I want to do. Basically, I'm going to get a crop field started because we need food instantly. I make the biggest one I can, and of course there's a tree on it. Like really, this one little thing, this thing right here is what's keeping this from being active on its own. One thing to remove, this tiny little bush. And then I also need to start getting more resources. So what I'm gonna do is just clear out the area right here, just so I can start filling that up with houses and farms and stuff like that. Basically, what I try to do when I start a Banished save is I line up a couple things right at the beginning. So I'll set this up, and then I'm gonna get one more thing. I'm gonna get the food up because like I want to make sure that everybody's busy and everybody's working. Oh, why doesn't that line up the way I want to do? Why is that one random rock there? I hate that. Okay, we'll put it here then. That's fine. Yeah, I just sort of started planning. I don't really know how to talk about this game, like how to talk while I'm doing this game, because it's really just a lot of thinking and just sort of planning stuff out. It's really just, for me at least, it's not strategic for the most part. Like I do, like there's a little bit of strategy to it. Like you're trying to make sure that you're not putting things too far and stuff like that, but for the most part it's aesthetic. I'm like trying to think, how would I want my village to look? What would I want my village to be like? It's also a matter of like me wanting to plan stuff out. I don't want to put it down straight away because then they'll start working on it, and I don't want them working on that stuff yet. I want them to focus on other things, which is always really annoying. But anyways, let's go ahead and get some crops going. We've got peppers and beans. Let's do beans. Put those guys there. Okay, now I'm gonna take a couple of my builders back because like I don't know what the purpose of laborers is, honestly. I don't know if you need them, but I feel like if I don't have them, things go badly for me. I feel like everything falls apart when I don't have laborers, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Oh, I don't want stone houses yet. I want to start with wood houses because whenever I start with stone, everybody dies. So like if I was on easy, it'd be okay, but when you're on medium or hard, you can't start with stone. It just does not work out. At least not for me. Maybe some other people can hack it, but not me. Since I'm starting this area here with a field, I want to make this sort of my farming area, and then I'll have like an actual city area somewhere else. So like maybe put the farming all down here in this area, and then have the city go up more this way, and then over here can be sort of foresters and the gatherers and hunters and all that stuff. I think I am going to end up putting the hunters and gatherers down over here and then have my foresters down over here. Because like even though it's a long walk, I think that's what I want to do just like for aesthetic. I just think it would look so much better out here. I'm going to start planning things out a little bit. So sort of the same way I had that other save, I'm going to want like 3 storage barns here, because I want to get multiple storage barns set up since this is going to be like my food area. I can't fit any houses here, so I think we'll go ahead and turn these into storage spot, because I'll eventually need to get rid of this so that I can put another barn there. So I need to put new storage there so they have somewhere to put their other stuff. The problem that I run into is that like I want to do my woodcutter and my blacksmith and stuff. I'd like them ideally to be near the area where they harvest stuff. If we're going to be cutting trees down here, I'd like my woodcutter to be down here. But I can't have them walk way over there at the beginning of the game to cut their wood. So I have to try to find a temporary place for it in this little area. So I'm thinking maybe like over here, like this line, because like right here is where I have the farm, like not the farms, the storage. So I put the like shop things, the trades or whatever, the woodcutter and the blacksmith and the tailor right there. That gives them like a good temporary space, and then I can have the rest of my farms down there, and then that doesn't really mess up the rest of my aesthetic of the town, because I can easily remove them, maybe. I don't know. It's a lot of thinking like that. So I hope this isn't boring to you guys. It's like, I really love this game, but I get it. It's just not a game for everybody. I don't know. I really love it. I think it's so much fun. Let's go ahead and get my woodcutter in. The most important thing for me is food, one house, and a woodcutter. Those are the 3 most important things for just getting started, because you need at least one house where people can go and warm up. You need a woodcutter who can cut your firewood, and you need food so they don't starve. Those are the most important things for the first 2-3 years. And then after that, it's like you have to actually build infrastructure. You have to make sure they have all the other resources they need. They have to have enough houses so they can keep having kids. Like only one couple will live in a house, and they won't live with other people. And it seems like they don't get remarried either, because I'll have some saves where there's people who are like 35, 40, and they're living completely by themselves. And there's another person who's 35, 40 living by themselves who's the opposite gender. So they they should pair up and become a couple so that way they can have kids, but they don't. So I think they don't remarry in this game. I think that if their spouse or whoever dies off, then they don't remarry and they don't have more kids. So you have one person taking up a whole house, and it's so annoying. But anyways, you have to that's one of the things that comes later is you have to make sure you have enough houses so that they'll keep having kids. And there is like this thing here called the longhouse, I think. Oh, the boarding house. So the boarding house you can put there, and like people who don't have a house will move in. It's like anybody who's like this has a homeless symbol above their head will move in there, but they don't have kids while they live in the boarding house. I mean, I think they do it like a couple people, like people who were already pregnant will still give birth, but like they won't keep having kids. So you can't just put you can't just put down boarding houses and be like, okay, my people have homes, they can just flourish. Like that doesn't happen. You have to actually have homes for them to keep reproducing and to actually extend the life of the town. Anyways, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to get another field in here. So that one will be our, what is this? The pepper farm, I think. Eventually we'll get more seeds, but I have to kind of wait until I can build a trading post to get more seeds, because I can't get seeds on my own. I can't just find seeds out in the woods. Like you have to actually trade them. So I have to wait until we build our trading post, and then I'll be able to trade them with vendors who come by. I feel like I'm just rambling at this point. I don't think like anything I'm saying about this game makes any sense. I feel like I'm just rambling about like the most ridiculous stuff that no one cares about and no one wants to hear. But you know, it is what it is. Anyways, we're gonna focus on these. So I can actually increase the priority on stuff if I want to like make sure they do certain things. And I've noticed a little glitch. I don't know if this happens for other people, but it happens for me. I can't go back into a save game and use the priority thing. When I reload a save, my priority thing doesn't work anymore. They just go do whatever the hell they want and they don't listen to me. So that's why I didn't have any other games saved. That's why I only had the one that's like my most impressive one, because like every other save, it's just I can't do anything at that point because I can't make them do what I want. And since I tend to do a lot of planning straight at the beginning, there's like a lot of buildings that are just sitting around, and so they go and make all these other buildings, but those aren't the buildings I need them to make. So yeah, it doesn't go well. Yeah, and you can play with time, of course. I tend to go at like the fastest speed just because it's like everything else is just way too slow. But anyways, I gotta try to get more people in for food. So I'm gonna cut my people again. So because I want to keep laborers. I think it's really important to have laborers. So I'll have 2 laborers, 2 builders, and then I'll put the other 2 in fishers. And now I just gotta hope we get some more kids soon and hope that they start growing up, because right now we have 11 kids. I need them to grow up and become adults. There is this middle category here, which is for students. You can't get students until you have a school, and a school is just so not important right now. Like, yes, it's helpful because if your people are educated, they work better, they work faster and stuff. But I like considering our priority is to survive right now. So being smart is not it right now. We just need to survive. So yeah, the school will have to wait for a while, but we can work on everything else. And you can see, like, we can actually see who lives in the house now. So you can see, even though all these people are homeless and they still have plenty of space in this house, it's just one family that lives there. So even though everybody else is homeless and they could be really nice and just let their neighbors live with them for a little bit just while they build their house next door, they're gonna be like, nah, you can't live here, fam. Also, don't pay attention to the couple ages. It'll just make you upset, because like when you don't have a student, like when you don't have a school, people become adults at the age of 10, which is highly problematic for a lot of reasons, and that's as far as we're going to go into it. So just don't pay attention to the ages. It'll make you sad. So we have a couple houses. Obviously I still need more. I still have 13 people that don't have houses, but I want them to focus on other things right now because we need to get other stuff set up. Really importantly, we need to get our firewood set up because we probably have enough to make it through the first winter, but I want to be sure. So we're going to go ahead and have them finish these 2 up, get this farm up and ready. I won't be able to use this farm this year. It's already too late in the season, but it'll be ready for next year. So that's the important bit. Oh, I gotta plan. This is the problem, because like I'm trying to see the vision in my head before I actually make them do stuff. So if I'm planning to have like my foresters down here, basically I want my foresters so I want 2, I think. I'll have 1 here and then like 1, well, if I have this one here, then I can just put this one like right here. Yeah, that's pretty good. This puts 2 right there. And then I have this whole area down here, which could be nice for like my herbalist and my gatherer. I can put them like right over here. I can have hunters across the whole area. What would I do with all this space up here though? Like this becomes farms, and I guess I could do more farm in here as well, and maybe over here can be mines and quarries. Maybe that doesn't sound too bad. Yeah, okay, so we'll go ahead and clear out this stuff. So I'll just start grabbing stuff, be like, okay, none of this needs to be here, and get rid of some of that. Oh, and by the way, you see like the little ones that are showing up in this sort of area, all those ones are new trees that pop up, because new trees do grow, but the more you get rid of trees, the less they'll grow. So like if you clear out an area like consistently and you get rid of all the new saplings and everything, then eventually the trees won't grow back anymore. But if you like remove them and then you leave the small saplings that are there and you come back later, then it'll keep growing and it'll like regrow the area. So now here comes the part where I could potentially screw myself up. I'm gonna start like plotting down all of these things that I want down here, and they might start coming down here and choosing to work on stuff that's not the best thing for them to work on. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, I have like a certain setup that I do for my gatherer and my herbalist. I usually do the same setup every time. So I set up like a little area all together, and I include a hunter cabin as well, just because I think it's like it makes sense to have it there. But we'll get that, and then we'll also get the herbalist. And I also put a storage barn in, so that way they don't have to walk all the way back to the main city to drop off their stuff. They can just drop it off here. And I also put like a storage plot and a house, so that way if they're out working in the cold, they can just go back into this house rather than trying to wander all the way back to the village in the freezing cold, because I have lost so many people like that. So anyways, that's the first little layout, and it's kind of hard to see obviously because there's still trees all growing through it. But what I would like to do for this is I'm actually going to put a line all the way through, I think, and we're going to try to build our other stuff along this line as well. So I want my foresters here. I'll just line that up with the path that lines up with that. I want it on this side so that it's not going up that mountain, I think. So I'll put it like here. I think I'll put one more hunting cabin because I've got the one that's over here. But I mean, I probably have space for 2 or 3 more, but I don't think I need that much. I think I can just do one. So maybe if I put like a hunter cabin. Oh, this is a hill. It's a hill right there, I see. But maybe I could put like right, maybe not quite right there, and just put it here by this hill. So it's kind of sort of in between them. Oh, and if you just saw that tree fall, that's not one of my people. So trees just do autonomously fall on their own, because it's just part of the way the nature works in this game. I think that's everything I need for down here. Like as I start to actually like clear this stuff out and I find the actual spaces that we're going to be using, I'll be able to like know exactly what I want to do for these, and like I'll be able to plan out like where I would want to put houses and stuff down here, because like I don't want just the one that's over in this area. I want more that are closer to these guys as well. I always like to put like a little, like not a village, but like a little living area close by to these areas so that all my workers can live near their actual work. I don't know if they actually take that into consideration, like making the people live closer to their jobs, but I like to think that they do. And that should be a good enough start, I think. Oh, he's done. Okay, cool. So I've got a log cutter now. Okay, and I can set this one to pepper. And I don't really have the people to split up on this farm, so I'm just gonna leave it at 4 for now. And when we get started, we should have 2 and 2 on each. For now, I could go ahead and start on my blacksmith and stuff. Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and speed up time and see what we can get out of this. But like here, this is what I was talking about before. You see all these new shrubs and stuff have come up. So these ones that have X's are the ones that I got when I went over this area to like remove stuff again. But all this new stuff has popped up in the meantime. So if I left this stuff to grow, it would eventually grow back up like this. And then they would seed themselves. They would add more seeds. So this area would grow back. But since this is going to be part of my town, it's going to be like my farming area, I'm just going to remove all this stuff because I don't need it. I don't want it here. I want this area to be clear. Oh, I got a whole bunch of people grew up. Awesome. Right, so I need to up my farmers, up my fishermen, and let's put the builders back. All right, and there we go. Now I still have enough laborers and builders, and everybody else is full. Oh, they're building the big bridge. kind of don't need you to be doing that right now, but okay. You know, that's actually all right. I think I am okay with that. Because if they build that over here, then I can put up another fishing cabin like right across from here. Because like you can see your fishing cabin has an actual radius. I think this is like the radius that it can actually fish. So you want to try to get as much water in this circle as possible. So since this is only working at like half capacity because only half of it's full, we could set up a second one over here and make up for it. So yeah, I could set that one up there. Then I could do the same thing with like little houses over here. That'd be good. Pretty good, I think. Oh yeah, by the way, paths. You can do paths in this game. You have like the dirt roads, then you have stone roads, and then bridges and tunnels. So dirt roads make them move faster, so they walk faster while they're on them, and they don't cost you anything. It just takes time and it takes like a little damage on their tools, I think. But if you do a stone road, you have to put 1 stone into each piece of road. So stone roads can get very expensive. And while stone roads are great because I was about to call them Sims. Oh my God. They make your people walk faster. They cost a lot. So it gets very expensive very fast. I want to get a couple more houses up because I don't want people dying on me. And then I can tell my people to focus on these because I want houses and more fishermen. Yeah, but you can see food is going okay right now. I've got a little over 3,000. My population is not growing at the moment. Like, I'm starting to run out of kids. So I need to start getting some houses down so that people do that. Oh, I've got freezing people. Okay, this is another thing to take care of. The snowflake means that people are freezing. As long as your houses don't have snowflakes among them, that means that you have enough firewood to warm that house, and that means that people can warm up there. So anyone who's freezing can go into any house. It doesn't have to be their house. This is one good thing. So even though many people won't let their neighbors stay with them for a couple days, they will let them come in and warm up from being out in the cold. By the way, if you guys have been hearing a lot of rustling and stuff, I'm sorry about that. I'm like covered in blankets right now because I record in my basement and my basement is freezing. It's really annoying because like even if you set the heat or turn on the fireplace or anything, all the heat gets sucked up from the basement right into the upstairs. Then the upstairs is boiling and the basement's still freezing. So we just don't even bother anymore. Like, we have the temperature set, the same temperature as the rest of the house, but it's at least 10 degrees cooler in here. If you hear all that rustling, I'm sorry. I'm just cold and trying to get comfy. And since we have our new fisherman thing up, we can either up the people from the actual building, so you can click on the building and up the people, or you can do it through the professions tab. But if you go over, so like if I put 9 here, you saw this question mark just popped up. That's because there's one more person assigned to being a fisherman than there are spaces available for fishermen. So I have to get rid of that. And now that person went back to whatever other job they had. Ooh, my people are out of tools. That's not good. Okay. So the tool symbols above their heads mean that their tools are broken. Tools make everything go faster and easier, so we need to get those going. So we need to get our blacksmith going. I always forget about the blacksmith until they run out of tools. So I need to focus on that, increase the priority on that. I don't know if doing it multiple times actually makes them pay more attention to it. I just do it because it makes me feel like I'm doing something, you know? The symbol means that we've reached the top. So we are full up on firewood. Firewood is past 500. You're so close. Please just finish it. Please. You're so close. Just finish. Oh, a child was born. Yay. Children. Awesome. Good. We need those. Here we go, blacksmith. All right, and you can actually change the types of things that your toolsmith makes. So you can make iron tools or steel tools. For iron, you can find it in the ground. That's what these dark stones are. Steel, you have to get from the mine. So you don't want to set to that. Like, it'll automate to whatever one works for you. So if you have iron, then it'll automate to an iron tool farm. All right, we got all our houses. We still have 3 people that don't have houses yet, so we still need to build a couple more. Oh, another thing that it's important to do is I'm playing with disasters on. That means I can get stuff like sudden tornadoes, I can get plagues, I can get infections in my fields and stuff, and I can also get fires. So it's important to build wells. Wells take kind of a lot of resources, but they're really important in a fire because if you don't have a well, everything just burns. So I'll make sure that we get that in. So we'll put a well over here by all the new houses. And then we also need one down here somewhere. So maybe right over here because I don't think I can fit a house here. Yeah, I couldn't fit a house there. So I might as well just put a well right there. So then we've got some that are close by and easy to use. Well, easily accessible, so that way our people can get water when they need it instead of just burning. That'd be good. Why can't I put a road there? Why can't I put a road there? I can put a freaking house there, but I can't put a road there? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, you can see my health's getting pretty bad. That's because people are outside and stuff still. They're not out. They don't have homes yet, so they're still pretty bad. Plus their cloaks are running out. They need warm clothes. So they're still fine for now because we still have 4 left. But once those 4 run out, they're not going to have proper clothes, so then they'll get even sicker. So we want to try to keep these things up, their health and happiness. Happiness, I don't really have much issue with for the most part. Like when they get really unhealthy, they tend to get sad. But for the most part, like they're usually so, I don't really know. Like I know for happiness, you can like build a church, you can build a brewery and all that stuff, because that tends to help make people happy. But I don't usually bother. Like I usually build a church just as like more an aesthetic thing. As like I usually put a church by my graveyard, which by the way I'm gonna need to build one soon. That's another thing I have trouble with, is I never know where I want to put my graveyard, because I don't want my graveyard like right there in the middle of all the stuff. So I usually try to put it somewhere where it's sort of isolated. Like I pick something like this island here, and I just like build a little graveyard over on the island. That might be what I do. I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm just gonna put the graveyard on this island. I'll just make a couple ways to get over to it. But everyone is now housed, which is good. So now that we've got the basics taken care of, we're fairly good on food. We could still do better, because like as you saw, we were at 3,000 before, now we're down to 2,000. So we definitely want to keep up with the food. But I think I'm gonna get this stuff down here, because this is food. Like Gatherer Hut and Hunter's Hut are obviously food. The Herbalist is for medication, which should help with health as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all of this going, so that way we can get some more food down here. Also, we'll have a house out here for when they're working out in the cold. But yeah, this game is like a lot of planning and stuff, but like it's a lot of like rushing and then waiting for me anyways. I mean, maybe for other people they have a different play style that makes it more consistent, but for me it's a lot of rushing and then waiting, because like I rush through planning a whole bunch of stuff, and then I sit and wait for them to do it, and then I rush a whole bunch of another planning stuff out, and I sit and wait for them to do it. So yeah, it's a lot of that for me, but I really like it. I think it's a lot of fun. They're taking their sweet time on these. Which one are you guys even working on? Okay, they're working on the hunting cabin, and they haven't done very much. Like, I understand you guys have a lot to do, but like another thing that's kind of annoying is they'll go and work on a thing, and rather than just pouring all the resources they have into it, they'll work on clearing an area to get more resources for it. Whereas like we still have so much wood here, and we have iron here, but like I don't think they've put that stuff in yet. Yeah, they haven't put any of the logs, well, there's no iron on this build, but they haven't put any of the logs in yet, and we have so many freaking logs. It's taking so long, I started nodding off. Oh man, we had a couple people die. Great. Yeah, so you people die of starvation sometimes. So as you can see, even though we had that healthy start of like 3,000, we have quickly gone back down. Even though we are running 2 farms and 2 fishermen's huts, we don't have enough food for our people. And that's only 39 people. So if we build up more, we have to make a lot more food. Because it's still like we don't have any more like houses starving right now. Like usually you'll get the same symbol you get for starving above these houses if they're gonna die, which is just like a fork and a knife, I think, or a fork and a spoon or something. I don't know. It's silverware. It's a silverware symbol that pops up above their houses. So yeah, and this is the problem. They went and finished all these houses instead of working on the part I told them to, which is really annoying. That's why we ran out of stuff, because they came and finished this stuff. So now all of our houses filled up. Even though people were fitting in the other houses, they filled out everything. So all these people started having kids. So that's why we're struggling right now, because we got a lot of people making lots. Okay, so let's see if we can get another field or 2 set up for next year. I really wish I could make these longer, but I can only go to 15. Okay. And so let me actually pause time real quick before time goes too fast. I want to get both of these started. Right. And then what did I have here? I had bean and pepper. So let's do pepper here and bean here, because why not? And I've got 5. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 4 more into farming. That won't quite top us out, but that should help. And I like to keep 2 laborers, so I'll take one of my builders back. Right, I'm gonna steal a couple people so that oh no, okay, yeah, everyone's dying, everyone's starving and dying. So even though we went and made more fields, everyone's still starving because the fields have to grow, of course. Oh my god. Yeah, okay. Yep, I have no builders, no laborers. Yeah, see, this was a problem. See, I thought I could get away with building stuff way out here, but it went too fast. Oh, someone just died right in front of us right there. Yep, so you can see my village is quickly crashing. There's a possibility we could survive it, but I highly doubt it. I don't think there's enough food. I don't think they can make enough to survive it. Yeah, see here, it was a fork and a knife. But yeah, that means that those households are starving. So that means everybody who lives in this household is going to die unless they get food. So yeah. Ooh, we are down to 12 people and 2 of them are starving. So we're about to be down to 10 people. The thing that always makes me so mad is like you're literally watching them tend to food and then they go and die. It's like you're making food right now. Just take a bite. Just take a bite. But no, they don't. They just die. And there goes our woodcutter. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this village is about to fail. Right, we can't make anything at the tailor's because we don't have any hide coats. Why did I bother making a tailor then? I wasn't thinking. So I put my tailor back to something else. Oh, well, they just had to replace someone who died. We've got 7 people. We got 6 people and a child. So, probably not gonna make it. 1 person fishing. Where are the other people? They're farming. Okay, yeah. Okay, I don't need a blacksmith right now. So can you maybe be a fisherman? So we can get some food? Food, please? There is a possibility we could come back. It's a very small chance, but oh no, we're down to 5. One of our fields isn't working. Oh god. Yeah, I think that's the end. I think that's the end. We technically still got 5 more people, well 6 people, but it's the end. This village is done. So yeah, that is how a usual Banished gameplay goes for me. So that one I showed you at the beginning was truly a rarity for me. So yeah, you can see sort of where I started. I had like a decent plan going out, but it was just too big too fast. Put too much stuff down and didn't have the resources to back it up. So yeah, is that another person who just died? I think so. So that was Banished. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it's very different from our usual, but I hope you found some enjoyment from it. I really like this game. I hope you guys liked it too. I don't know if I explained it very well, but you know, I tried. So anyways, I'm gonna leave this one here and I will see you in the next one. Bye!